All right, let's jump right in today. We're going to be diving deep into the world of mushrooms. And, well, to be specific, uh, the ones you want to think twice about before, tossing in your stir fry.
Yeah, those would be the poisonous
The
ones.
poisonous ones,
Yeah,
exactly. Those that
definitely.
make you go, maybe not that one. And our guide today is a blog post from the experts themselves, shroom traders. They call it The Truth About Poisonous Mushrooms: Myths, Facts, and Precaution.
Catchy, huh?
It gets straight to the point. And that's what we're all about.
It does, it does. So we've got this whole fascinating, kind of scary world of poisonous mushrooms to explore. But before we get all, is that what gonna make me sick? Let's start with, like, why?
Why do some mushrooms even have toxins? That's a good question to begin with.
It is. What's, like, the evolutionary reason?
Well, you got to think about it from the mushroom's perspective, right?
They're getting into the mushroom mindset.
They can't run away from a threat, can't exactly hide either.
They're sitting ducks. Exactly. So over, millions of years, they've developed these toxins. It's like their defense, a way to say, don't even think about eating me.
Like a built-in security system. Back off, I'm poisonous.
Exactly. And it's not just like a little ew yucky taste. These toxins are serious business.
Oh, yeah, they had a long time to perfect them, haven't they?
They've evolved to be powerful, targeting specific systems in the body for, maximum impact.
So not just a tummy ache, we're talking serious stuff here.
Oh, it can get serious. Depending on the mushroom, the toxin, even the person eating it, the reactions vary. Some toxins, yeah, they might just give you a bit of an upset stomach, some cramps. But others, we're talking liver failure, kidney failure. Not good.
No, that's definitely taken bad mushroom to a whole new level.
No kidding. And the blog post actually breaks down some of the most common toxins you might encounter.
Oh, this is where it gets really interesting. Like knowing your enemy, right?
Right. They talk about 5 amatoxins: gyrometrin, orelaniine, muscarine, psilocybin. Each one is unique.
A whole lineup of toxins, each with its own specialty.
Exactly. And understanding them can be, well, it could save your life.
Okay, let's start with amatoxins. Sounds pretty ominous.
Oh, they are. These are found in some of the most dangerous mushrooms out there, like the death cap, infamous one.
It's a death cap.
Yeah.
Heard of that one?
And what makes amatoxins so bad, they go after your liver and kidneys, like shut them down.
Oh, that's not good. Not good at all.
And what's even scarier, the symptoms can take a while to show up.
So you might not even realize you've eaten something bad until it's too late.
Exactly. A silent but deadly threat, you could say.
Okay, that's one to watch out for. What about gyrometrin? That one sounds like it's from a sci-fi movie or something.
Well, it does have a pretty dramatic effect. Found in false morels, those are tricky ones.
False morels, right. Tricky because they look like the real deal.
Exactly. And when this gyrometrin gets in your body, it turns into this chemical monomethylhydrazine.
Monomethyl. Okay, that's a mouthful. And does it do bad things?
It does. You might actually recognize the name from somewhere else, though.
Can't say I do, unless it's also a delicious ingredient in a fancy dish.
Not quite. It's a component of rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel, you're joking.
Nope, not joking at all. Well, it might not launch you into space.
Probably a good thing.
Probably. But down here, it can mess you up. Liver damage, neurological problems, even seizures.
All right, we're 2 for 2 on the definitely avoid list. Liver and kidney assassins and rocket fuel. What about the other 3? Orelaniine, muscarine, and psilocybin. What they got up their sleeves?
Well, orelaniine, that's in the deadly web cap, another slow-acting but bad news toxin.
Deadly web cap. Sounds like it means business.
It does. Causes irreversible kidney failure. And often it takes weeks after you've eaten it to show up.
Okay, slow and insidious. Not a good combo.
Nope. Muscarine, now that one's known for messing with your nervous system.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Not really. Sweating, salivation, your heart rate drops, all sorts of not fun stuff.
So a whole different kind of bad news. And psilocybin, that one I've at least heard of.
Right, psilocybin, that's the one in magic mushrooms. It's psychoactive.
Yeah, it makes you see things.
Hallucinations, altered perceptions, the whole psychedelic experience. Now, it's not usually considered deadly, but the effects can be really unpredictable.
So even if it's not straight up poisonous, still not something to mess around with.
Exactly. Best to leave that one alone, too.
All right, so we've got our lineup of toxins, each one with its own way of wreaking havoc. And I think the takeaway here is knowing your enemy is crucial.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to mushrooms. That's exactly why this Shroom Trader's blog post is so important.
It's not just about scaring us away from mushrooms altogether, right?
No, not at all. It's about giving you the knowledge you need to stay safe.
Knowledge is power. The more you know about poisonous mushrooms, the better you can avoid them.
Exactly. And that's where myth-busting comes in.
Oh, yeah, there are so many myths out there, like old wives' tales.
And some of them can be really
All right, you
dangerous.
ready to play a little truth or myth? See how many we can bust.
Hit me with it.
Okay, first one. If a mushroom is brightly colored, it's poisonous. Truth or myth?
Myth. Big time.
Really? But so many poisonous things in nature are brightly colored.
True. But it's not a foolproof rule with mushrooms. Some of the deadliest ones are actually pretty plain.
Like the death cap. We talked about that one. Not exactly flashy.
Yeah, the death cap's a good example. Blends right in. Makes it even more dangerous.
So don't judge a mushroom by its cover. Got it. What about this one? If animals can eat it, it's safe for humans. Truth or myth?
Another myth. That's a big one.
I've heard that one a lot. Like, oh, the squirrels are eating it. Must be fine.
Yeah, but different species, they process things differently. What's harmless to a squirrel could send you to the hospital.
It's amazing how nature works like that, huh? Okay, next myth. Cooking or drying a mushroom will get rid of the toxins. Truth or myth?
Sadly, another myth. Some toxins, they're heat stable, they just don't break down.
Like those amatoxins we talked about. Nasty little things.
Yeah, those are a good example. No amount of cooking is going to make those safe.
So no shortcuts when it comes to mushroom toxins. All right, how about this one? Poisonous mushrooms taste bitter or bad. Truth or myth?
That's a myth. A dangerous one.
So you can't even trust your taste buds.
Not with mushrooms, no. Some poisonous ones actually taste quite good, apparently.
That's kind of unsettling. Like you can't trust your senses at all.
You really can't. That's why identification is so important. Knowing the specific features.
Yeah, the blog post talks about the cap shape, the gills, the stem, even the spore print.
Exactly. All those details matter. And that's where field guides and mycology groups come in handy.
Experts to help you tell the good from the bad.
They're lifesavers, literally. All right, ready for a few more myths?
Hit me.
Ever heard of the silver spoon test?
Oh yeah, the silver spoon turns black if it touches a poisonous mushroom. Truth or myth?
Pure myth. Folklore. It's not a real thing.
So no magic tricks for detecting poisonous mushrooms. What about peeling the skin? Does that help?
Nope, another myth. The toxins are usually spread throughout the whole mushroom.
So no amount of peeling or trimming is going to make poisonous mushrooms safe.
Exactly. No shortcuts. The only way to know for sure is through proper identification.
All right, we've busted a lot of myths today. Seems like the main takeaway is there are no shortcuts when it comes to mushrooms.
When in doubt, throw it out. Always better to be safe than sorry.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So we've talked about why mushrooms have toxins, how those toxins affect us. We've debunked some myths. Now, I kind of want to get into some specifics.
You want to talk about some of the big names in the poisonous mushroom world?
Let's do it. Let's talk about the ones that have really earned the reputations.
All right, you're talking about the Hall of Fame, or I guess Hall of Shame, of poisonous mushrooms.
Exactly. Our listeners need to know what they're up against. Forewarned is forearmed, right?
Couldn't agree more. And I think a good place to start is with the one we've mentioned a few times, the death cap.
Okay, the death cap, if I remember right, it's responsible for most of the fatal mushroom poisonings worldwide.
Yeah, it's a big one. And it's not just the amatoxins, it's also how unassuming it looks.
Like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Exactly. People mistake it for edible mushrooms all the time, especially if they're not experienced.
And then those delayed symptoms, that just makes it even more dangerous.
You might not feel anything for hours, even a whole day. By then, the damage is already being done.
What about the destroying angel? That one sounds pretty ominous, too.
Yeah, the destroying angel, another all-white mushroom that fools people, and it's got those same amatoxins.
So 2 deadly white mushrooms to watch out for.
Yeah.
What about something a little more, eye-catching? What about the fly agaric, the one with the red cap and the white spots?
The fly agaric. Now, that one's a real looker. But it's less about organ failure and more about messing with your head.
Oh, so it's got different toxins.
Yeah, things like ibotenic acid and muscimol, they cause hallucinations, delirium, all sorts of weird stuff.
So not necessarily deadly, but definitely not a good time.
Definitely not a good time. Best to admire that one from afar.
The blog post also mentions the false morel. That one's a lookalike for the edible morel, right?
Right. And as we talked about before, it's got that gyrometrin, turns into rocket fuel in your body.
A rocket fuel mushroom. Not on the menu.
Nope. You could have anything from an upset stomach to neurological problems, even death in some cases.
Okay, that's another one for the avoid at all costs list. What about the last one, the deadly web cap?
The deadly web cap. That one's less well known, but just as dangerous. Grows near oak trees a lot. And people can mistake it for edible ones, like the fool's funnel. Not a good mix-up.
So what makes the deadly web cap so deadly?
It contains orellanine, another one of those slow-acting toxins that targets the kidneys.
So irreversible kidney failure. Another one to add to the list. It's amazing how these toxins are all so different, each one with its own way of attacking the body.
It's a reminder that nature is powerful and that we need to be careful.
Respect for the mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's what we've learned today.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot. The science of the toxins, the myths, the identification. But I think the most important thing to remember is
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We know why mushrooms have these toxins, how they work. We busted those myths. But let's be real, sometimes accidents happen. You think you've got the ID right, and oops.
yeah, it's best to be prepared just in case.
Exactly. So what happens if, despite our best efforts, someone eats a poisonous mushroom? What do you do?
Well, the Shroom Trader's blog post goes into this, and it's good advice.
It is. Because knowing what to do in that situation could be crucial.
Absolutely. The main thing is you got to act fast. Time is really important with mushroom poisoning.
Oh, yeah, I bet. So don't wait around hoping it was just a bad pizza or something.
No, don't wait for symptoms to show up because
And
by then it might be too late for effective treatment.
okay, so every second counts. What's the first thing you should do?
First thing, call for help. Call emergency services, get to a hospital as fast as possible.
911, right to the ER.
Exactly. And if you can, bring a sample of the mushroom with you, even a small piece.
So the doctors can see exactly what they're dealing with.
Exactly. It helps them identify the species, the toxin, all that, so they can give the right treatment.
Makes sense. So grab a sample if it's safe to do so. What about while you're waiting for help to arrive? Is there anything else you can do, like, I don't know, make yourself throw up or...
That's a common question, inducing vomiting. The blog post is pretty clear on this one, though.
Okay. What do they say?
Don't do it unless a doctor tells you to.
Yeah.
Vomiting, it can actually do more harm than good sometimes.
Oh, wow, really? Thought it was always the best thing to do.
It depends on the toxin, so it's best to leave that decision to the medical professionals.
Got it. So call for help, bring a sample, don't induce vomiting unless a doctor says so. Anything else?
Yeah, the more information you can give the doctors, the better. When did it happen? How much was eaten? What symptoms, if any, are showing up? All those details matter.
So it's all about empowering yourself with knowledge. Even in a scary situation, knowing what to do helps.
It really does. And we've focused a lot on the dangers today, the poisonous side of things. But I don't want people to think all mushrooms are bad.
Oh, absolutely not. There's a whole other side to mushrooms, the good side.
Exactly. They're essential to the ecosystem. Breaking down stuff, recycling nutrients, helping trees grow.
Nature's recyclers.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, some mushrooms are delicious.
Oh, yeah, the edible ones. When you know what you're doing, they're a real treat.
Exactly. It's all about knowledge, respect, and caution. Then you can enjoy the amazing world of mushrooms.
Well said. Mushrooms can be fascinating, delicious, and yeah, sometimes dangerous. But with the right knowledge, you can appreciate them all safely.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener. We learned about the toxins, busted myths, and got some great safety tips. Huge thank you to Shroom Traders for that awesome blog post and to our expert for all the insights. And to our listeners, thanks for joining us. Keep exploring the world of mushrooms safely and responsibly. And remember, when in doubt, throw it out. Until next time, happy mushrooming, everyone.